Honest Opinion. Today I am reviewing Sharon Playhouse's production of Annie, with music by Charles Strauss, lyrics by Martin Charnin, book by Thomas Meehan, directed by Karla Andress, choreographed by Krystyna Resavy, and music direction by Eric Thomas Johnson, running through August 10th at the Playhouse at 49 Amenia Road in Sharon, Connecticut. Help the sun to come out tomorrow on my Patreon page, where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support this channel as well as my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee. You get early access to the latest podcast episode, which is currently Werner Herzog's Aguirre, The Wrath of God, preview reviews of reviews here, and early access to interviews, which is something new that I've got going on. The next interview will come out in early August with Hartford Stage's artistic director, Melia Ben-Sisson. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, and welcome to the new ones. Links to my Patreon and podcast pages will be in the description. Annie was my first musical. I think I saw it when I was like 7 or 8 after watching the movie and trying to encourage my grandmother to see the stage version, and she obliged. I don't remember much about it, except that I got really bored with it. But, Annie's one of those musicals that I go to see with trepidation, because it has been done so many times. You never know how the children will do, and you don't know if the adults are just going to phone it in. Problems that I've seen in productions before. But man, this delightfully joyful production of the red-headed orphan Annie, played by Avery Hope, whose life gets turned upside down after being selected to spend Christmas with billionaire Oliver Warbucks, played by Alan H. Green, had me beaming ear to ear the entire 2.5 hours. Everyone was fully invested in the show, both on the stage and in the audience. I went to a Sunday matinee and there were children all around the theater, and from my vantage point, they were all invested in the show, with some shifting starting to happen near the end of the first act, but that's expected. From the opening bars of Maybe to the closing bars of A New Deal for Christmas, I was awash in hope and glee. Speaking of hope, Avery Hope and Alan H. Green have marvelously inherent father-daughter chemistry together, like the two were meant to play these roles with each other. Hope exudes charisma as Annie, and Green holds Warbucks with regality, but never plays the role too cold, keeping a warmth and sincerity about him. The ragtag team of children have feistiness and attitude, which is accentuated by Krystyna Resavy's rough and aggressive choreography for the girls in It's the Hard Knock Life. Rooster Hannigan, played by Harrison Drake, is appropriately sleazy, along with Landry Champlin as his accomplice girlfriend, Lily St. Regis. Savannah Stevenson, who I've seen twice before at the Playhouse in The Prom and Oliver, gives her best performance so far as Warbucks' assistant and would-be lover, Grace Farrell. I think the 18 years of practicing law before returning to the stage might have helped present a degree of propriety to help elevate her performance as Grace. Michael Kevin Baldwin's performance as FDR is also pitch perfect, with a dry bit of snark that kept me laughing. My one acting note goes to Courtney Ballum's Miss Hannigan, who has the drunken physicality of the manager of the orphanage down, but lacks what I feel is the necessary apathy for the role. I would have liked to have seen her be more tired and exhausted from the whole experience of having to take care of all these children. I love Kathleen Deangelis' costumes, especially the dresses for Grace Farrell, which look amazing. The set was pretty good, designed by Christopher Swader and Justin Swader. The Warbucks mansion looks fantastic, but some of the paintings of the flats were starting to bubble, and it was pretty noticeable. Annie is a musical about hope in a time when things are looking pretty hopeless, whether it be the Great Depression of the 1930s, where this musical is set, or where people are being abducted off the streets by the governments. Annie reminds us, to borrow from another early 20th century icon, that tomorrow is another day. Annie points us to the future and to never look back. Though the Miss Hannigans and Roosters of the world may cause the world to seem gray and lonely, Annie reminds us to stick out our chin and stand firm on the promise of another day. A better day when the evil that exists around us implodes from its own gluttonous greed, and that ultimately good and charity and compassion for your fellow man will triumph. If an 11-year-old orphan can exude that much faith in a better day, we should be inspired to do the same. This is why Annie is as timeless as it is, and everyone really should go see a production of Annie right now, no matter where it is playing. It may not be as good as a production as the one currently playing at Sharon Playhouse, which is fantastic, but gee willikers, do we need inspiration like this today. But I am only one man's opinion, so leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see Annie, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be links to my Patreon and podcast pages, as well as my social media handles where you can follow and support my work. You can also support me by liking and sharing this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Sharon Playhouse's production of My Fair Lady. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.